Gee, that last video was a stinker. I honestly have no idea what happened with the audio, but as an apology, I will be attempting to fix the Rings of Power as my penance. So, with that out of the way, first off, we will be scrapping the plot and characters of the Rings of Power, as there is nothing worth salvaging here. And we will be going back to the appendices which Amazon owns the rights to. We will be using the story fragments found in Appendix A of The Return of the King, starting on page 344, paragraph 3, for those of you who are keeping up at home. We will be setting this TV show in the twilight years of the Númenóreans. Jeff Bezos is said to have wanted Game of Thrones. And if that is what you want, then Tolkien has got you covered. It even starts like Game of Thrones, with a civil war. We start with the death of Tar Palantir, king of Númenor. His daughter, Tarmiriel, is overthrown by her cousin Ar-Pharazôn, who takes the throne, and chooses to challenge Sauron for primacy in Middle-earth. Enter Ar-Pharazôn the Golden, a man with a massive ego and even bigger ambitions. The name should probably have given that away. He builds a massive fleet, and with this armada he goes to Umbar and challenges Sauron. Where, when Sauron's own servants see the power of Númenor rock right up to their front door, they nope right the heck out and leave Sauron to grovel and beg in hopes that Ar-Pharazôn will spare his life, which, because this dude has a massive ego, he will not only spare Sauron, but he will also take him home with him as sort of a trophy. I mean, who doesn't want to have the boogeyman sitting chained up in the corner of their den? But, before long, Sauron will start preying on the fear that plagued the kings of Númenor. The fear of death. Before long, the conqueror has become the conquered, as Sauron will slowly corrupt the minds of the king and his counselors against the Valar and the Eldar, and then all of Númenor, save for the persecuted remnant of the faithful, will turn to the worship of Melkor. This would be more than enough material for your first season, and your second season would start off with a bang. We would show the fall of Númenor, due to Sauron convincing Ar-Pharazôn to invade the Undying Lands, which, for those of you who are not aware, is sorta kinda Middle-earth's version of heaven. Ar-Pharazôn does this because Sauron lies to him and tells them that if he invades, he will become immortal. Here is where the Valar lay down their lordship of Middle-earth, and Eru Ilúvatar, who is Middle-earth's version of God, destroys not only Ar-Pharazôn and his invasion fleet, but also all of Númenor. He reshapes the flat world of Middle-earth, making it round. Only the remnants of the faithful and Sauron escape. Sauron, because he has bullshit hacks, but even with these hacks, he's never again able to assume a form that doesn't make him look like a monster. The books literally say he looks twisted and terrifying. Elendil and his sons escape because they thought that trying to make war on God was an epically stupid idea. So they built them some ships and got the heck out of Dodge while the getting was good. Arriving on Middle-earth to found the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor. Elendil rules as High King, and the boys help him run things, and for a time all is right with the world. Until Sauron returns, and this is where we have the War of the Last Alliance, which could be a whole TV show unto itself, because while the Peter Jackson trilogy, in the prologue they only mention men and elves, the dwarves also pitched in. You could show Isildur having to go around and gather up allies. Heck, he might even wind up in Moria, and we might get to see what that kingdom looked like before it fell into decay. We could also meet Gil-galad, the last king of the Noldor in Middle-earth. This season would go out with a bang, with the defeat of Sauron and the taking of the ring by Isildur, ending the Second Age and the second season. Now, we could end it here, but because I am sick of people defending Amazon by saying that they didn't have enough material to adapt, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You know how pretentious wankers like George R. R. Martin and Michael Moorcock say that Tolkien couldn't write morally complex characters and that, oh, we don't need any more heroes going and defeating Dark Lords. Tolkien was so black and white. Well, allow me to introduce you to the Gondorian Civil War, also known as the Kinstrife, where you have all the complexity of Game of Thrones with none of George's shitty writing. Now, I could really dig in here, but that would take hours, so let me summarize. Basically, King Eldacar is deposed by Castamir the Usurper, but the strength of Gondor and the line of kings dwindles, due to a war with Arnor, the northern kingdom, over a Palantir at Amon Sul, which are the big glowy seeing stones, and a few other small factors like magical plagues wiping out most of the royal family and copious amounts of backstabbing. Gondor falls into decline. This would be actually one of the more grimdark parts of Tolkien's works, and absolutely deserves to be adapted. Quite frankly, I could go on for hours on how to properly adapt the appendices, and I have not even gotten into the tragic death of King Averodu of Arnor, but I will be wrapping this up here. The Rings of Power wasn't bad for lack of material, as I hope I have proven and demonstrated today, but rather it was due to bad, incompetent writers and the insertion of modern-day politics. Anyway, tell me what you think down below. This has been Pete, the Heretical Nerd, signing off.